G'day everyone, I am the Red Scar, this is Red Scar Gaming. Today is my summary of my 9th draft of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I used a Is It Prowess deck, is probably the best way to describe it, but it's not exactly Prowess. But it's a bit control, bit cast a second spell every turn, but yeah, look, Prowess is the best way I could call it. And yeah, brief summary of what happened last game, which there was a bit of technical difficulties for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, so I wasn't really able to record it. But yeah, it was basically versus an Abzan deck that actually had a lot of graveyard recursion, so I basically couldn't trade creatures with my opponent. But anyway, let's see how yeah, this summary goes, and hopefully I can learn from things, you can learn from things, and yeah, let's have some fun. Harrier Strix did pretty dang well. In fact, I played him turn 1 fairly often, and while he didn't exactly win me the game, it did get me on a pretty good start. I didn't use the tap target permanent as often as I probably hoped for, at least effectively, though I did use draw a card, then discard a card, would have been half a dozen times at least, which, yeah, once again didn't exactly win me the game, but it's a good way to spend 3 mana, so yeah, pretty happy with him. Take the Fall. I mainly kept him for the draw a card aspect at instant speed, rather than the neg 1 or 4 power, particularly because I didn't have a huge number of outlaws to make a neg 4 anyway. But yeah, in hindsight, I don't think I really used that terribly effectively, because while I did use it a few times, it was mainly just for draw card. So maybe I could have put something else in there instead in that slot, maybe. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what sort of thing I would have put in there instead. Probably a creature, maybe. Fleeting Reflection. I was hoping that would be a lot more effective than it ended up being. I didn't get to use it at all, partly because my opponents, at least generally speaking, my opponents didn't have much by way of destroy target creature, which I mean the hexproof would have been really good for, and there wasn't many opportunities where I was able to turn it into a creature that I wanted it to become. So yeah, in hindsight, Fleeting Reflection was not a good card for this draft. That's the only card I suppose I'm really unhappy with. Razzle Dazzler. As I said when I drafted it, it's you only have to cast that second spell once, and he's pretty well worth the 2 mana. So yeah, he was pretty good. In fact, I think it was game 5 or 6 maybe that he helped me. Yeah, I think it was 5. That he helped me win the game because I cast that second spell, and he was able to attack for the 2 unblockable, which yeah, otherwise my opponent would have been able to last for a while. Essence Capture. I didn't get as much use out of it as I was probably hoping for. Not so much because I didn't have a target for it, just because I maybe timed my mana wrong or something like that. I was sort of hoping that, as you can see with the curve up here, that basically turn 2 is when I can set up a lot of my spells, and Essence Capture is one of them. But yeah, I just maybe bad luck, but yeah, there was a few too many times that, say, turn 4 I played Chrome, had an Essence Capture in hand, but then my opponent played a creature that I would have loved to have countered with it. But yeah, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have drafted it, but you didn't get as much use out of it as I was hoping. Demonic Ruckus. I think on that front, I didn't quite draw it as often as I'd hoped, but it was, in hindsight, particularly good for the whole plot. The plot cost, I mean, 1 red, and then so I could trigger the likes of Razzle Dazzler, and there's a few other cast 2 spells in here somewhere that, yeah, it's pretty dang good, and you get to draw a card and make it menace and trample. So yeah, it worked pretty well for me, though I didn't quite draw it as often as I'd hoped. Scorching Shot, I did play a few times. It was certainly good at destroy target creature, and I suppose with the power of hindsight, in this particular case, it was a bit more destroy target creature that's doing a lot of damage to you rather than destroy target creature that's going to block you, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, yeah, I was happy with it, and I'd probably go with it again, but maybe it would have been better if I'd had it in a deck that was a bit more red. Because I didn't do too badly as far as drawing cards, but with the power of hindsight, I've got a lot of cards that are like 2 red that you have to pay the red for. So yeah, maybe I should have gone, say, 1 more mountain, 1 less island, maybe. But yeah, clutching at straws there. Silver Deputy, look, he didn't do very well this particular draft. It might have been maybe just bad timing, or I just simply even made the wrong decision. But yeah, I know that the game 6, I cast him and put a land on top, and I really shouldn't have. That was a mistake of mine, and yeah, I stand by that. But yeah, I just didn't get to use him terribly well. He's a chump blocker otherwise, which I don't mind. And yeah, the fact that he's 2 colorless is good. I'm not upset by him, but yeah, maybe I should have swapped him for something else. But I suppose he's the best way, or probably only way, for me to get land, or search for land otherwise. Collective Defiance I got pretty good use out of. There was a few times that I basically took out target creature and did another 3 damage to opponent. In fact, there was one time that I did it to a planeswalker as well, which was very effective. 4 mana destroyed 2 big threats was pretty good way to spend mana. I'll go with it again, though. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't go 2. I mean, not that it's easy to get 1, but anyway. Sterling Hound. I'm still pretty happy with. It's not super game winner, but it's a pretty good vanilla 3, and because it's the 3 colorless, it's pretty easy to cast turn 3 regardless of what colors you're playing. And Surveil 2 probably didn't get as much use out of Surveil 2 aspect of it as I was really hoping for, but I mean, yeah, it's still good. It doesn't have to win you the game to be worth 3 mana. Playing the Heist was actually probably more effective than I thought it would be, to be honest. There was a few times that I got to play it, and I think I plotted it every time. Mainly because then you can play it at the perfect time and play all the cards in your hand, sort of thing. And it doesn't sit in your hand while it's plotted, so that's a benefit. Drawing 3 cards is really good because, as I sort of pointed out before, because I've got a lot of low mana cost stuff, there are times that if I draw, take the fall or something like that, it's just not worth the draw otherwise. So I sort of need to draw 3, and Surveil 3 certainly helped. Though, maybe didn't get great use out of Surveil 3, but that's bad luck, good luck, whatever. Stoic Sphinx, I didn't actually play him at all. I don't think I even drew him at all, did I? Might have been game 1 actually I got to play him, maybe. But yeah, look, I didn't get any real use out of him, so I suppose be slightly disappointed there. But that's just bad luck. Chrome, or however you pronounce that, I got good use out of. Not amazing, but I suppose probably the thing to note most is that several times my opponent, for whatever reason, through whatever card, got to look at my hand, discard a card, and actually chose Chrome fairly often. So I suppose it's good in that sense that he got that, because as I noted during the draft, the cast my second spell bit is pretty much why he's in this deck. And if my opponent discards something else, and Krum is not terribly effective, then how do I phrase this? It's a good card regardless of if my opponent thinks it is or not. Is yeah, sorry, I'm phrasing that wrong, but anyway, I'm Australian, I'm not very intelligent, so yeah, he did well. He didn't do as much damage as I probably hoped he did, but and I think I only got his trigger on second spell, might have been twice or something. Yeah, but I think I'm happy with him though, so yeah, I'd go with him again, maybe not 2, maybe. Fool's Fall, I definitely saw him a lot, but I mean, there's 3 copies of him, so that's pretty easy. I would say that Fool's Fall is probably the card that ultimately won me all the matches that they did, because I was somewhat playing control. It was basically whether plotting or casting Fool's Fall, then yeah, it's basically get to the late game so I can attack with him as often as possible. Might have just been a bit of luck, but my opponents tended not to have much flying, and the few that did died to blocking him anyway. So yeah, I was pretty happy with him. Peerless Rope Master, probably not as effective as he could have been. Though I'd say that it's not so much that like it's a bad card or something like that. It's just yeah, I didn't quite get the use out of him as I might have otherwise wanted. I mainly used him for return target token to hand, which is essentially destroy target creature, which is pretty dang excellent for 5 mana. But yeah, there was a few times that I put actual creature card in hand. So yeah, he's still good, and I stand by that he's a good card, at least in this situation. Lands, yeah, pretty happy with all that. Eroded Canyon rather. Actually, Eroded Canyon, I'd say bad luck. I just sort of got at maybe bad opportunities, but yeah, that, as I said, that's probably just bad luck. Conduit Pylons was good. Never used the add 1 mana of any color bit, but that's all right. I've mainly got it for the Surveil 1. As far as the other cards, Requisition Raid, I'm sure there would have been a situation where it would have been good, but yeah, it's just splashing white for that. Not sure is worth it. Spring Splasher, it's a really good card when it needs to be. Or sorry, when it is a really good card, it's a really good card. But it doesn't take much for it to be a bad card. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't put that one in. Seize the Secrets is actually one that I might have been a little better with. Sort of as I said before with where is he? Plan the Heist. If I draw, I do need to draw a fair few cards in here because there's some situations where it's just like Essence Capture is not bad, but if my opponent doesn't play a creature, I'm not going to cast it. So Seize the Secrets, probably pretty good. Maybe I should have put it in instead of Take the Fall. Maybe. Or yeah, well, I suppose seeing that I was unhappy with Fleeting Reflection, I suppose Seize the Secrets would have been a lot better than Fleeting Reflection. Shackle Slinger. Yeah, once again, I wasn't exactly going for the whole second spell bit, but yeah, maybe I could have leaned on it a bit more. Though, yeah, just trying to think, because I didn't get many triggers with Chrome, maybe Shackle Slinger would have just been a 3-2 for 3 a bit too often, in which case it's not a good way to spend 3 mana. So maybe I'm happy. Yeah, maybe I'm happy that I put him in my sideboard. Daring Thunder Thief. As I said during the draft, if you don't play something during your opponent's hand, like say Essence Capture or Take the Fall or something like that, he's a good backup. I suppose I could have put him in. Yeah, instead of Fleeting Reflection. Yeah, though I can still see why I had I chose to put Fleeting Reflection in here, and why I took Daring Thunder Thief out. But yeah, maybe it's just hindsight. I should have had Daring Thunder Thief in deck. But I suppose maybe I could have put it in instead of Fool's Fall. But once again, Fool's Fall did well, so Yeah, I'm not quite sure on my thoughts on that. Stop Cold is another one that's basically just control at flash speed, which it's good, but 4 mana. You got to be a bit careful with it if you're going control of whatever kind, because you sort of have to be able to draw a fair few cards to have Stop Cold played at a good time, if that makes sense. Because if you've got lots of cards in hand, you'll, chances are, have the land to play, enough land to play Essence Capture or put aside for combat tricks or whatever. I'm not sure if I should have put that in. Visage Bandit, I think I stand by not having that one in because I'm a bit low on creatures here. Just remind me, it's 13 creatures, 10 non-creatures. So with Visage Bandit, look, he's good in the right circumstance, but I don't think there's much I would have put him in for. I suppose June of Fool's Fall and maybe Peerless Rope Master. But I'm ultimately just saving 1 mana for something that, I suppose that's one thing you got to keep in mind, that what are you getting out of him? And there's not many cards like that are worth the 4 mana to cast. Now 3 at plot is definitely a benefit with these, but once again you still got to have pretty good creatures yet. So look, I haven't used Visage Bandit well, though that might just be my bad decisions or bad luck or something, but Overzealous Muscle, definitely wouldn't have splashed black for that. Explosive Derailment, the good damage, certainly would have been good. So that's probably one of the cards I really would have put in instead of Fleeting Reflection, because it is general use. And in fact, was it game 4 or 5, that my opponent was playing, I forget the name of the card, it's an artifact that basically gives you a free creature every turn, a 3/3 version of it. I really, really would have liked to have Explosive Derailment at that stage, but hey, my opponent just, had the right cards and good on him. And you can't draw particular cards when you want to. Highway Robbery, I suppose going back to what I said before, I probably needed to draw a bit more, and even the discard card bit would have been alright. Maybe even chuck in another land so I can make sure that I have the land I need and I don't mind discarding a land, maybe. Outlaws Fury, glad I didn't go with that because you have to have at least 2 or 3 creatures for that to be effective. Rodeo Pyromancers, from what I've seen, he can be very good in a all but mono red deck. But this is not an all but mono red, so I don't think I would have gone with him. And Trick Shot, is sort of another one that it can be really good, but at 5 mana with this deck in particular, these cards that I went with, 5 mana I had to be playing some win cons, and I don't think Trick Shot's a win con. Boombox, look, I've never been a fan of that one, but anyway. So I suppose with the power of hindsight, I should have probably dropped, say, Take the Fall, 2 Fleeting Reflections for probably Highway Robbery, Seize the Secrets, probably Explosive Derailment, though maybe that's a bit too power of hindsight, but I think that's probably what I should have gone. But once again, that's power of hindsight. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned from my draft, and I hope I learned from it too. See you next time.